What's up, guys? Swift here, covering everything to watch versus the Cleveland Browns tonight. Let's get right into it. There is so much intrigue and a lot to talk about in this one, but the first thing most fans will probably be watching is how our first team offensive line performs against the Browns' dominant edge rushing duo. There is no better test than this. Braxton Jones and Larry Borum get to go against two of the best in the business in Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney. The Browns got the better of our line last year in Justin Fields' first career start and sacked him 9 times. I don't expect to see any shell shock here, as I expect Fields to do like he always does, bounce back and perform much better after a loss. Our offensive line only returns one starter from that Browns game last year in Cody Whitehair, as neither Tevin Jenkins or Larry Borum played in that game. Sam Mustipher did, though, as well. All eyes will be on Braxton and Borum, and of course, I'll be breaking down how they did after the game as well. It's a huge test for both players, who are currently both trying to become starters at the NFL level. I expect them to play well, but I would be a fool to say I expected us to dominate the Browns' edge rushers. I expect a better performance than we saw last year, and this game will be a real test and show us how far along our offensive line has come. Speaking of the offensive line, this is a huge opportunity for Tevin Jenkins as well. He played great last week, but he has to continue his solid play to lock down a starting job and silence the critics. I have always thought that Tev was one of the best 5 linemen on this team and would end up starting somewhere. Right guard seems like the perfect spot for him to show he belongs and take out some of his aggression on opponents. I fully expect Tev to have a good game and lock down the starting job. He is still very raw at guard, but last week he looked like a long-term option, so now we are looking for him to show some consistency and even perhaps some improvements. Good luck, Tev. Now, to go along with the offensive line, we will all, of course, be watching how Justin Fields and the first team offense performs. The first week versus the Chiefs was shaky, but showed some promise. Last week, the starters played 10 plays and moved the ball down the field and got a field goal. We saw play actions and rollouts to go along with some solid play calling from Luke Getsy. Now the offense's job is to get in the end zone. The plan is for them to play roughly the entire first half. They specifically would like to run the 2-minute offense at least one time, but the goal of the unit has to be to score a touchdown. Through limited playing time so far, the first team has failed to reach the end zone, so that will be a focal point of the night. They also haven't had many red zone opportunities, so I'm excited to see what Getsy can do when it comes to scheming players open inside the 20. On the defensive side of the ball, most everyone will be watching Roquan Smith as he makes his first appearance in Eberflus's defense at the will linebacker position. I expect Quan to look like himself, but if he does need to shake off some rust, this is the perfect time to get that out of the way. He is the leader of this defense, and I expect his presence to be felt right away. The defense has a tough test versus what may be the best running team in the NFL. The explosive 1-2 combo of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt is hard to stop. The Browns will be without Deshaun Watson, who won't be seen again until he serves his 11-game suspension, so Jacoby Brissett will be starting this one. Brissett is more of an NFL backup at this point in his career, but he has been able to do some things in the NFL. Still, even without Watson, this is a well-coached team that runs the ball down your throat and takes shots with play-action passes. This is an offense that has an identity and will be a great test for our defense, so it's good to have Roquan back on the field for this one. The first half will be the most action we've seen from the starters so far with this new coaching staff, so I expect us to learn a lot tonight. Obviously, not everyone will suit up as we have quite a list of injured guys, but we will get to see a good portion of our starting offensive and defensive units for an entire half of football. On top of that, there will still be plenty of reasons to keep watching in the second half. We have a lot of young, exciting rookies, and that back half of our roster has more intrigue than at any time I can remember. There will be a few players that I really like that will not make this roster. These bubble guys will have a chance to showcase their skills in that second half, and there are a lot of intriguing players to watch. We also will have 16 players that we add to the practice squad, and I expect a lot of those guys to be on the roster now. On offense, I'll be watching Dieter Iceland, Zachary Thomas, Michael Schofield, and all of our wide receivers when the second team comes out. And as for defense, one of the guys I'll really be watching is Elijah Hicks, but there are players all over the defense to watch out for. Marquise Gates and Jack Sanborn always catch my eye when they are on the field. The entire defensive line has a lot of guys battling for spots. Sam Kamara, Charles Snowden, Trayvon Coley, Micah Treadway, Mike Pennell, and then in the secondary, will Dane Cruikshank play? Will Mario Edwards Jr. play? I'll be watching Lamar Jackson, Jalen Jones, Duke Shelley, and John Alexander. There is a ton to watch in this one. We have to cut 27 players by Tuesday. That's right, 3 days from now, the Bears will have to cut 27 of these guys. So there will be a lot of battles going on and guys fighting for jobs. I will be covering it every step of the way and breaking this game down on film afterwards. Stay tuned, guys. Be sure to hit that like button for me. Enjoy the game tonight. And until next time, bear down.
What's up, Swift? It's Kyler Gordon. Just want to do a quick shout out to Swift Sports Network with all the latest news on the Bears. Keep doing your thing. Just hope you have a good day, man. And I just want to say bear down.